one get one free sale. 3 monograms of regular school shirts, dry fitting dress solos, jumpers, skirts, boys long short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and casual work. Pistachios and shoes, which are blended up with cocoa cream, vanilla, sweetener, and soy milk. Freeze in ice cube trays and then blend again in a soft serve ice cream textural form. You can eat it like this or refreeze for a more ice cream-like consistency. Enjoy. What if I told you you could make your own homemade vegan pistachio ice cream without an ice cream maker and without bananas? This recipe is honestly life-changing. It's always my favourite ice cream flavour growing up, and this tastes exactly like I remember. It uses a base of soaked pistachios and cashews, which are blended up with cocoa cream, vanilla, sweetener, and soy milk. Freeze in ice cube trays. Star 106 hits. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy weekend, everybody. Welcome to your Friday edition of Free of Mind on a Friday. It's good to be in your company. Yours truly, the Natural Empress. I am glad to be in your company on this Friday as we today is a Fix It Friday, and I'll explain in just a minute. All right. Thank you to everybody that makes it possible. Thank you to KFC. It's all about the bucket deal. Thank you to the Fresh Market. Click. The Bear of the Bahamas continue to share the vibe. I got to say thank you to Muffler World, Pinder Tile, and of course, City of Hope, as well as my fine folks at Shell. Shell definitely wants you to cruise the Caribbean. You have just a few days left to get in it to win it. All right. The drawing will happen on the 16th. Persons will get to cruise the Caribbean, all courtesy of Shell by simply
fueling up at one of their 13 service stations, $20 or more, and you are in it to win it. All right. Good afternoon to everybody locked and loaded. I'm ready to roll 106.5 on the FM band, channel 976 on cable. Good afternoon to everybody listening, especially on the Family Islands, all of those that got cable. You now go big up yourself. Shouts out to everybody locked and loaded via channel 976. Also, don't forget you can download the Music Media 242 app if you haven't had a chance to do that, where you can take us and our sister stations wherever you go. All right. And follow us on social media. Like I said, a lot happens on social media as well. Okay. I'm ready to roll. It's a Fix It Friday and gonna need your help as always. All right. But today's story is a story of preparation. It's a story about thinking things through entirely, because sometimes we just jump up and we do things on the cuff without really putting real thought into situations and how things can, turn out. You look at situation A, and if not, it could be a B or a C. Today's story is about planning, especially when it is you're talking about getting older, when you talk about inheritance, when you talk about security, trying to make sure that your loved ones that you leave behind, because we're all going to leave them behind at some point. No one knows the time nor the hour, but nevertheless, it's about making preparation. And there's something that we don't necessarily do as the other man. We kind of wing things. We take things for granted, once we're in some semblance of healthy, we don't think about the things that we need to do in order to prepare for um, passing on. We don't want to talk about it because we say, oh, word sound is power. You don't want to talk about when you die, what you got to do in terms of preparing to make sure that your folks are secure. We just kind of wing it. We can't say we're gonna, when we get to the bridge, we're gonna cross it, because when you get to that bridge, aka death, there's nothing you can do after you've passed on. So you've got to, prepare. Now, talking to a couple people in particular, just about this subject, you find that persons who have a lot more to lose are the ones that will prepare. They got zeros upon zeros in their bank account, their offshore accounts, and they tend to make sure they are prepared, so that the state doesn't just get to enjoy their hard earned money. So people who have a lot tend to prepare a bit better, but in no way that people who have less should not prepare just as much. If you have a house and it on blocks, it's still a house. It still has some value. And then there are things that you can do to upgrade it. So don't think of anything as too small. If you have a car, same thing. It might not be a 2024, but it's something that can move somebody from point A to point B. It's something that could alleviate somebody from having to take the bus in the rain. You know what I mean? So you have to see everything as having some kind of value. All right. So maybe it's a gold chain that was passed on in your family. It has some values, especially sentimental values. This was your great Grammy ring or whatever it was, right? It still has some value. So you still have to, or should, put something in place for someone else to enjoy. Because one thing is for certain, you won't be able to take it all with you. All right. And today's story is about somebody who made preparation but did not thoroughly think it through. And this is where your help is going to be needed. All right. So I'm going to take a quick break right here. I'm going to get into the story, get ready for it. You know what? When I heard it, I laughed at first, and then I thought about it, and it's really, really, really not a laughing matter. Your help is definitely needed. All right. It's a Fix It Friday. We're going to find out what's happening on the streets of Nassau in just a second. And when we come back, I'm going to give you the full details. And just it's really, really food for thought. If you are in a situation like this or could possibly come upon a situation like this. All right. So stay tuned. Our Eye in the Sky traffic report, followed by Free Your Mind on a Fix It Friday, right here on the Star. Stay tuned. It's not. All right. So, like I said to you guys that are just joining, in terms of preparing for the next life, if you have anything of value, maybe you just have a cosmetic jewelry collection of some nice earrings. You know what I mean? You might not think of it as much, but somebody will want to have that. Fellas, you got some nice kicks. You have 3 pair of nice kicks that they're still in the box. You hardly is wear them. When you wear them, you brush them off and they brand new. All right. They got some value. You want somebody to, enjoy that. You have a dog, right? The man's best friend. And God forbid something happened to you, you would not want that dog to go to the pound. You wouldn't want it to go to the Humane Society for somebody to get it and mistreat it. You treat it like a child. You want to put it in a loving home with your cousin through the cut. I don't know, right? But everything has some kind of value. Maybe you have a lot of clothes, whether they come from Shein or not, right? Somebody would love to have all of them dresses you have in 5 colors. You know what I mean? So you got to see everything as having some value and making sure that you made some preparation, whether you've been to your lawyer or whether you wrote it out on a piece of loose leaf paper and you had it JP'd. I think that's legal. I got to find out, but I guess it's something, right? If you have a JP, then that's a done deal. That's the note Delia wrote. All right. So if it's that, you pen that out, you get it JP'd, and that one is signed, sealed, and delivered. All right. So I'm going to get into the story just now. Going to get into the story just now. Preparation and thinking things thoroughly through is the name of today's game. All right. Gonna tell you in a second. Share the vibe. Like beer in the Bahamas, cool and refreshing. The taste is amazing. Me and my friends we be drinking. Call it life, share the vibe. At the club or the bar we drinking. Call it life, share the vibe. The new life beer we're hanging. Call it life, share the vibe. Drink responsibly. The new school Bahamian beer. Keeping you moving with today's best music and yesterday's favorites. Star 106 FM. Who's here, by the way? I see y'all talking. What's going on? Who's here? Star 106 hits. Welcome back. Free your mind on a Fix It Friday. I got a case for you. And one that's kind of thought provoking. It should, make you think as you look at all of your worldly possessions, how you're going to disperse them in the event, or rather when you do pass on. Do you have anything in place, whether it's something very official, meaning that you went to your lawyer and you have everything documented, or is it something that you just wrote out and you got it JP'd, but something in place? So here's a classic story, and this is why today is deemed a Fix It Friday. Here's a classic story of 2 brothers whose father thought that he did a fabulous job, unlike so many who make no preparation whatsoever. We've seen it over and over and over in this country, in particular, right here at home, where people pass on with no plans, nothing put in place. The families squabble. Families fall apart. People don't speak to people anymore. Um, um, People fight over, what they think, is due to them. If they feel that you're not worthy, hello, darling. Um, and people, this kind of thing causes a lot of havoc and a lot of separation and a lot of ill feelings and a lot of malice and a lot of all these crazy emotions when things are not put in place. And I don't know why it is for most people, we shy away from putting things in place because I don't know. I think we feel as if we start writing things out or making those kind of preparations that you're going to die automatically. I don't know. Right. But here's a classic story of a father who thought that he did absolutely the right thing by leaving his property, right, for his two sons. What am I talking about? A house, a two-story house that dad had and left for his two sons. So here's how dad charted this whole thing, right? Dad said that the upstairs would be for the first son, and the downstairs portion of the house would be for the younger son. All right. So big brother to the top and little brother at the bottom. All right. So here's okay, it seemed fine while they were living in the house. They made the clear separation where the upstairs portion would have its own entrance. This is the plan, right? And downstairs, so they're totally separate and apart and self-contained. So nobody's sharing kitchen, nobody's sharing bathroom. The only thing that's being shared is the yard space, all right? The front yard and the backyard, right? They have their little designated parking. They worked all of this out and things seem to be going very well. And everybody's happy that there's no fighting because dad did the right thing. He left it in a will where two brothers are going to inherit the property when he dies. Woohoo! Sounds good so far, right? All right, here's where the problem comes in. The big brother who inherited the top portion of the building did his own renovations. And let me tell you something, this young man went to the bank because, in his mind, as a young man, younger than 30, he's got a head start in life. He's got a girlfriend um, who already has a child, and they're planning to have their own kids as well. So he's like super happy that here's the head start. You already have the home. He goes to the bank, shouts out to the Commonwealth crew, and he secures a nice loan and he renovates his portion. Like I said, he got the entrance separated, so he's self-contained, gets the entrance done, and he does a total 350, 360 spin around in this house, his top portion, and he totally renovates it and makes it so very posh. All right, so he's got in the rooms, he's got the wood flooring, he's got the Moen sink, he's got the granite tops. Shouts out to the Pinder Tile crew. All right. Um, he's got the little child's room nicely decorated in the cartoon character of choice. All right. The little boy likes a particular character, so he did the room, totally to make the little boy happy. The young lady in his life is very excited at the fact that she has this beautiful kitchen to prepare all these wonderful meals. She likes to bake, got her a nice, oven, and things are good. Things are absolutely fantastic. And brother downstairs now um, did nothing with his portion of the building. I can't say of the house anymore because ah, I can't say the house anymore, the building, because upstairs, nicely done. All right. Downstairs was exactly how dad left it. Now, you can imagine that looking at this house face on, it looks a bit weird and kind of absurd because the top portion, and it's painted. You know what I mean? So it looks beautiful. And then you can see that the bottom portion, nothing has been done since Mr. So and so died, right? So now it's an awkward situation, right? But you can't stop the big brother who has moved on and trying to make his surroundings comfortable for him and his new family, right? You can't blame him. He went to the bank, he secured a loan easily, and he did his renovations. All right, now here's where the problem comes in. Not only did brother number one, big brother, do his renovation successfully, the brother who um, occupies downstairs, which is the younger brother, now is saying that he wants to demolish his portion and build a better house. Oh my goodness gracious. So here's where the squabble comes in, because if downstairs brother wants to do demolition, that simply means that the top portion will come tumbling down. And this man is already invested. You know, he says he just wants to build. He doesn't like anything about the downstairs portion of the house. He wants to just he just wants to wipe it clean and come again. What should these brothers do in this situation? This is a real story. Now think about it. We've seen lots of buildings. Okay, give you an example. We have buildings where there's business downstairs and upstairs. Shouts out to the Chinese. All right. Upstairs, you've got living accommodations, right? You've got apartments or whatever it is. And downstairs is a full fledged business. And in some cases, they're not owned by the same person. So this situation could reach anybody at any time, right? Whereas if you will a building and you separate the building, especially a two-story building, it's not like you have a flat where there is a, let's say, a triplex where one person wants to sell one, or one person is doing renovation in one, unit, and two not doing it. It still look weird if one part of the building looks good and the others doesn't. But in a situation where it is a split level, and the top portion or the bottom portion wants to do something entirely different, how does this work? Is the question. And what should Big Brother do, the one that's on the top floor that's totally renovated? What should he do in this situation? It's a Fix It Friday. Help me now. All right, so Kivon says older brother needs to buy the younger brother out and let the younger brother move in his own place. Now, Kivon, I want you to know that is a wonderful idea. But guess what happened? He offered the younger brother to buy him out of his portion, but the young man says he still wants to be on the property for sentimental reasons. This is the yard we all grew up in. This is the house dad left for us. I want to be here, but I just want to fix my section, but I want to start anew. How can this be done? Any contractors out there that could give a word as to, a way to save it? I don't know. But if he's talking about totally um, um, revamping. It's not like he's saying he's just going to retile, or he's going to put in new bath fixtures, or he's going to put in, new splash guards. I don't know. On the back wall of the stove. He wants to totally demolish his portion of the house. Beats, you look so bewildered. This is a real story. And again, I don't know if dad didn't think it through that this could even be. I mean, when I brought the story to you, did you even think for a moment that this could have been a possibility where the brother is going to ask for something crazy like this, which is to have his portion demolished and he wants to redo it altogether? Paula, thank you for this one. Good day, Empress. Death indeed does crazy things to the survivors. Whew, this is very sad. I would think they should have a conversation before they renovated or demolished property. Okay, well, the property is not being demolished as yet. This is what the brother is proposing he's going to do with his portion. But we all know that if he does a demolition to the bottom section of the house, the entire building will fall. A house divided can't stand. And that's biblical right there. So the fact that he offered his brother to buy him out and the brother has declined, how do you think this story is going to end? Um, you can hit me up on Facebook. You can help them out. Star 106 or Natural Empress on Facebook. A house divided cannot stand. We're going to take a quick break right here. I'll wait for your thoughts, your comments, your queries, your ideas, your suggestions. All right, a free of mine on a Fix It Friday, right here on Star 106 Hits. Stay tuned.
The world on Mackey Street and Robinson Road can do a lot of things to make your car perform better. Make sure the wheels are properly aligned, and that your brakes actually work, and that your car is using the correct oil and in fact has oil. No same techs can replace your entire exhaust system. Check out Muffler World for the top of the line Walker muffler. If you want your ride to sound rude, Muffler World can help you there too with a system by Flowmaster. Muffler World, Mackey Street and Robinson Road. Mufflers and a whole lot more.
Pinder is carrying a new line of tile, the Sky series of porcelain. Comes in 4 colors: Sky Noir, Sky Azure, Sky Green, and this one, Sky Glass. In this particular tile, I think you'll find coin gray, silver gray, cloud gray, and gray. All of these are seamlessly blended to make the Sky Glass one beautiful tile. The Sky series of porcelain comes in 2 formats.
Beats, any ideas?
At 530 a square foot and 12 by 24 at 525 a square foot.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more medications from more care.
Thank you.
More specialists.
Okay, good.
More
You have some
expertise,
ideas.
more research.
I don't mean I know anything about
Oh
contract.
my God, really?
and more options.
How? Okay, hold on. Let Flow Rider bring us in. This Miles.
Thank you for choosing Star 106 Hits.
This Miles. It's Miles. Okay, here we go. All right, so Lydia and everybody that just joined, and I want y'all to think of places like, I could give you a couple examples. John Shea comes to mind first, where the food store downstairs
Right.
and upstairs you have apartments.
Mhm.
Dragon through the
Mhm.
cut,
Budget.
Easton Ross. Downstairs is the animals and their feedings, and then upstairs
Yeah.
they have apartments. Give me another one.
Budget food store.
Same thing?
Brennan Road. Yeah, the food store
Bernard Road,
downstairs.
Bernard Road. Okay, yeah.
Apartments upstairs.
All right, so that's a common thing where you have split level buildings that have 2 different things going
Yeah.
on, right? And I want you to believe that in some of the ones that you just mentioned, not all of them are owned by the same person. I don't think. It's safe to assume that they're owned by the same person, but that's not necessarily so.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens when a situation like this arises where the father did the right thing? He made sure that there's no squabble over the building, the house. He say, okay, son, big bro, you get the top floor because you are above, right? You're the older one. The younger brother at the bottom, right? And that's written, it's documented, it's in his will that these 2 brothers, Cain and Abel, right, have the house and y'all live your life separately. You're self-contained, nobody sharing kitchen, nothing. All right. Now, what happened, Lydia, is that the older brother went ahead and went to Commonwealth Bank, get this loan, and he totally renovated the top floor. Self-contained. He have his own entrance. He don't have to see the brother at the bottom, but they cool. But he did that for himself with the top. The bottom now, just how daddy did and left it, that's how it looked. Popped down, dilapidated. And now he's saying He, the owner of the bottom floor, the younger brother, is now saying that he wants to totally demolish his portion. How? Now, brown cow, can you demolish your portion? All right, here we go.
Control.
Star 106 hits my house. Whose house is it really? The sounds of Flow Rider right there. So, for you that are just joining us, we have a case of two brothers who have inherited their father's house. The top floor assigned to the big brother, the bottom floor is assigned to the younger brother. Top brother takes out a loan. All right. And he totally renovates, makes it nice and posh and comfortable. All right. And looking really beautiful. And then the bottom floor belongs to the younger brother. And he has not done nothing to the house since the father passed on. All right. So it's a very vast difference
Mhm.
between the top and the bottom floor, because the top floor is even painted on the outside nicely.
Uh-huh.
And then the bottom floor, I could show you a picture. The bottom floor, right?
Still just concrete.
How you
I
know
can
it's still
envision it.
concrete?
I can envision
What color is the top floor?
I feel like it's like a nice floral color, like a pink or a light blue or something.
It's gray with a blue trim.
Hmm.
That's interesting. All right. And then the bottom floor is just,
Yeah.
it was a color. You could tell that there was a color.
Let it fade.
E-I-E-I-O. There was a color long time ago. Right.
Mm.
So now, what I think this is where a lawyer should come in. But
Yeah, I think a lawyer, a property lawyer would be great for this, because I think there's a lot of different leeways that they have with this. Like, for one, if you look at the size of the actual property, a lawyer would be able to assess, well, realistically speaking, you can't have two houses on this property that's only
this,
X,
yeah,
so
one
much
by
space.
100 by 100.
So if your intention is you wanted to demolish it with the intention of building a single family home for yourself, then we can make you an offer that's reasonable to get a house somewhere else. Now, you say you want this for sentimental value. You can still come and visit. This is your brother. You can still come visit the house.
You know,
If you
that's funny
wanna-
that you say that. My father's house in Grand Bahama was sold to somebody that I used to. Well, I never really worked with him, but at one point I did kinda. I used to host
Uh-huh.
an event at a particular hotel,
Yeah.
right? And this man used to work at the hotel, so he wasn't strange to me,
Mhm.
right? And do you know, after the young man totally renovated my family's house of how many years, right? He allows me, for every time I go to Freeport, shouts out to you, Mr. Lockhart, right? He allows me to come and visit. Like, I go to the yard, I
Really?
sit in the yard, I pick hog plums, I pick Chinese plums, I pick lime, I pick mangoes, I cut fever grass. Um,
Oh, wow.
and that's a real thing, because it sentimentally,
Uh-huh.
it's a part of my healing, right? And he understood that. Him and his family, they got kids running
Yeah.
around in the yard, and it's a good feeling when I go there and see life
Mm-hmm.
on the property, right? But for them to even allow me is kind of special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's an interesting feeling. It's like, I don't know. I can imagine it being sort of like, what
It's
you mean
bittersweet.
you allow me and come in? It's my
And,
yard,
and they let me go in the
but
house
it's your
too.
yard.
It's really their yard,
Yeah.
you know. But
Wow.
it's kind of cool. It's kind of
That's
cool.
interesting.
Yeah. All right. So shouts out to the Lockharts over there in Freeport. But again, the law as it stands in the document shows that the father left,
Mhm.
and that's cut and clear. But there's nothing, from what I was told, in the contract or whatever you call it, the deed,
Right.
that says in the event that one wants to demolish, there's nothing about demolishing.
That's true. Ooh. Well,
But you
I don't know.
can't stop somebody from doing what it is they want to do with what is rightfully their own.
See, that's why you would love to have one of those smart people called lawyers to come in this, because they could be like, okay,
Get me
well,
call Howard.
technically, if the father left the house left the upper story to the older
the older
brother,
brother.
the upper story cannot exist without the lower story. So therefore, saying that you cannot demolish the lower story without the permission of your
That
older
should have
brother.
been in the deed from the
That
beginning.
should have, but a lawyer could, sort of
Well, AJ said they
bring
need
that
to
out.
fix it. They just need to. Why not just put their differences there? But here's the thing, AJ, there are no differences. He's saying rent the place and split the rent, but you forget the sentimental value.
Mhm.
They want to be on this property. They both equally want to be on this property where they grew up,
I
right?
don't know, something
So
something
I don't
fishy
think there's
about this.
something a lawyer, I don't know if there's something a lawyer can do based on the facts. It's all there exactly how the father left it. And there's nothing in the contract that states in the event of.
But here's the thing: the younger brother wants to demolish his part,
I
the
want to
lower
demolish my
floor.
own, my own.
Okay, all right. So you just want the property. It's this space that has sentimental value, not the house
Itself.
exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, and you want to demolish this to build a house, but he's saying this as though he could demolish the house for free. It costs money to demolish a house.
Agreed.
It is potentially possible for him to demolish the walls and leave the supporting beams, and then the upper story will be able to stay as like a stilted structure like they have inside the Keys
There
in
you go.
Florida and
There you
inside
go. There you go. And
Long
that,
Island.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like it's more like a garage driveway
Yeah, it'll
kind
be
of
like
situation.
the garage kind of situation like that.
Really.
That's possible, but then you still have to pay to demolish this house, and you have to even more money because you have to be so meticulous in that demolishment if you want to leave the supporting
The
structures.
beams.
Yeah,
Now what if they just demolish the whole thing? I think my suggestion to him was then you just got to pay your brother back
yeah.
for what he's already invested.
Hmm.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
that's
So
also an
see,
option.
the moral of the story is that when you think through something, you've got to look at all facets. You got to look at all variables because the father did not, in leaving this property for the two sons,
Right.
think about if one wanted to. 'Cause, I mean, there's things about selling. If you want to sell, um, you can because it's two separate. It's two separate units.
I think the simplest way to come to an agreement to come to this would be um given that the house as a whole was given to the sons
Mhm.
in the form that the top part of the house
Belongs to the
was
big
given to the
brother
Brigham brother, and the bottom part, the house cannot exist as two separate things, even though it has been separated.
because the house
So,
divided can't stand.
so if one of them chooses to demolish a portion of the house, it would have to be a unanimous decision.
Mm.
Cannot be just you can't
See,
do that
here it
without
is. You
both
putting
of them
words in the
agreeing.
contract which did not exist, which needed to happen. So before all of this, before we even wrap this up, the moral of the story, first and foremost, is to be prepared. We've got to definitely make preparations. A lot of people are afraid to make those kind of preparations, but separate and apart, when you do make these kind of preparations, you've got to think through all variables of every any kind of possibility that can happen, because now we have a situation between two brothers where there was not any kind of contention, and now it's a problem. I think you probably helped the situation. I don't know why it is that it really posed a problem, because you solved that kind of quick when you said keep the beams so
Yeah,
that the top portion can stand. I don't know why they didn't think of that.
I mean that's because it's a really meticulous way of going about it. It's also very dangerous because suppose you go about doing that and you nick one of the beams, because even if you are successful in doing this, you
Yikes.
are still weakening the structure of the house, because you might just leave the main supporting columns, but the I'm assuming not,
Guy,
like I
you
said,
sound very well
I'm
versed
not.
in this
I'm
thing.
not. Listen,
Very.
my granddaddy used to do this. Not me. I have no idea. I
You
only
learned
do
something
technical
though.
drawing. Um, the walls still do carry some weight of the structure of
Above.
the upper story.
Mhm.
So if you just destroy just destroy the walls and leave the beams to hold the majority of the weight, that doesn't necessarily
It
mean
don't guarantee.
it don't. Yeah, it's not a guarantee. You could also weaken the structure of the house. So even in that,
Ay,
the
ay, ay.
best thing for him to do would be to either one has to buy out the other. Either you pay me for the upper story and the renovations that I did, or I pay you for the lower story and let you go build a house somewhere.
Yes. Make preparations, people. Make sure everything is, dotted because this is a crazy case. Now you see there's going to be problems between the two brothers if this is not solved. AJ says the only solution is compromise. Someone has to be willing to do so, and that's the hard part. Of course, the brother who's already spent is saying, "Man, listen, I don't spend.
I just think
You need
it's
to push
wild.
out."
I just think it's kind of wild that I know I didn't watch my brother go to the bank, spend all this money to make his place
You
nice.
think
Everybody
maybe
done been up
jealousy?
there. I feel like it's jealousy, and I don't want to say it because I don't know these people.
Yeah, I
But
don't want to say it, but
I get the image that the younger brother is single and
yes,
ready to mingle, and
and
he watching his older brother.
live posh.
He done get it.
Poshly.
Then get a girl, get the baby, get the place, fix up the place, and I just stand here living in a bachelor pod
That ain't fix up.
that he ain't fix up.
And I can't.
Thing.
And the thing is that I'm not sure if the younger brother's even in a position to get a loan.
Right. So I don't know where all of this is coming from.
It might
I
be from
really
a
do
place
think
of
the
jealousy
best
for
thing
them.
for him to do, because even the part about saying that, oh, I want to be here for sentimental value could really just be something
Spiteful.
that said, no, not even to be spiteful, to say, well, this property worth $50,000 cash, but sentimentally this worth $1 million
To me.
to me.
Exactly.
So you got to pay me for that.
Christio says the younger brother should have told him before investing. Before he allowed him to start doing those renovations. He should have said something to him. Okay, I mean, that's here nor there because maybe it didn't cross his mind until it crossed his mind. And that's when he says, listen, I want to demolish my portion. Anyway, folks, we've come to the end of another Free Your Mind, a Fix It Friday. Trust they will work out their differences. You still look bewildered. It's crazy, though.
Because I'm still thinking, even if you demolish the house, like even if this is a cartoon world, and you're gonna get a bulldozer, and you just speed the bulldozer through the bottom part, and the top part just drops straight down, it would still drop straight down. You can't move it to the side of the property.
All right,
You can't move it back in the property.
I'm gonna show.
So where the house can go? Where your house would have gone?
I can show you the picture, right, of it, so you could get a clearer understanding as to why this is just so really, really messed up. There you go. Pete's is laughing, people. That's the house.
Wow.
So you can do the description. So there you have it. The top floor.
This is like a meme.
Really?
That's crazy.
It's real.
Wow.
That's the house. So the top floor is painted. And then the bottom floor is like wherever you put it. That's what it is. Yeah. So there you have it. I hope that they're able to fix it. Fix it, Jesus. But anyway, folks, top of the hour, 5 o'clock. You're driving 5 on a Friday right here on the Star. Welcome to the weekend.
Cancer treatments.
You know what? The older brother is the fool. You should have said that.
The older brother should have sell it?
You should have sold the spot.
Sell it to who?
I know. Sell it to the younger brother. Sell it to someone else.
Why you think he would even think that selling it was even necessary?
Remember that song we used to sing inside Sunday school?
Which one?
The foolish man built his house upon the sand. That's what that looked like. Because you go on and do all this investment and stuff, and it just can crumble right down.
You see, man, painted house have
That's
balcony,
crazy.
and thing. Downstairs, just Lord, it's one of those things. All right, guys, thank you so much. I say fight till one draws blood. Come now, Ken. Don't do it.